All right, let's try that again. Like I said, Danny, Joe, special guests today. We're going to be talking some NFL, and we're going to be talking some Seahawks because we're all Seahawks fans here. If you're in the Everett area, go to Tabby's Coffee. Tell them Talking Interference Sports sent you. If you're watching us on any other platform other than Facebook, Game Changer Sports Network, go check out Game Changer Sports Network, and then go follow us, Talking Interference Sports, on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. All right, so you guys want to tell us a little bit about the Seahawks that are like why you're a Seahawks fan, how long you've been into football?
Go ahead, Danny.
I moved here in 1994, and Davy Pratt, and didn't have a team. My mom was a Cowboys fan, and my dad was a Niners fan, and it wasn't anything to be excited about the Seahawks, but there was a lot to be excited about the Mariners at the time. Okay. So that's why I kind of fell into the Seahawks then, and then it was my senior year when we finally made it to the Super Bowl. And the worst officiated Super Bowl in history, and
that was terrible.
Yeah, I even wrote a paper in high school my senior year that I called it the Super Bowl tragedy and called out every single flaw in that game. And yeah,
so you took whining and bitching to a whole nother level.
A whole nother level. I mean, it was official. I'm pretty sure. I'm surprised it hasn't been published yet. I'm thinking about digging it up because I still have a copy of it. I want to dig it up and I want to get it published, and it's going to be a big.
So how long did it take you to get over
that? What day is it? I'm not over it. I'm not over it. And no Seahawks fan should be over it because it was ridiculous. But it's all right because 2014 season really helped out. So
we actually did an interview with the center for the Seahawks during that Super Bowl, and he was actually talking about how he was really upset that like every time he felt that they would get on the field, something good would happen, and then they get a penalty, and then it would just go back.
It was literally every time something good happened. Every time, especially that touchdown, they call the offensive pass.
On
D-Jack.
I mean, that's one of those things where everybody agreed that it was an egregious call, but everybody that hated the Seahawks took it as an opportunity to tell Seahawks to fucking get over it.
Right.
It's fucked up because we should have had this. Replays should have been happening a long time ago. Seahawks. It's fucked up because something happens to the Seahawks. And then they investigate whether or not they want to bring in replay.
Yeah.
Like when Testaverde fucking did the QB sneak on the 1 yard line and came like a yard short, but then crawled his way up to the goal line. And then they called it a touchdown.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then it was there wasn't. But that's what started the whole review thing. Was that play, and it was against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
The reviews for every touchdowns happened because of the Seahawks Fail Mary game too, right?
Yeah, we were just watching a clip of that before this. Yeah.
Right.
The day the replacement reps died.
I remember I was in the Army then, and I was hanging out with a bunch of people who were Packers fans. I was watching that game. They got all mad, and they were talking a whole bunch of crap, and I was basically like, hey, man, the call on the field stands. Like, sorry, bro.
Yeah, that's what we've been getting.
We get it every time. Like, we're told to forget the Super Bowl. Or it was called the right way. It's the way it was called, and so it goes. And we're like, well, that's how that game went.
Yep. Then when it happens to you, you're fucking –
Yeah.
I was at that game. It was crazy. It was the only game that I found. So I went to the game. I just walked onto the ferry by myself because I couldn't find anybody to go with me to go find a scalp ticket.
Right.
And so I went and I was bugging these scalpers, and they didn't want to give me the price I wanted. And it was harder for me to find because it was one ticket.
Right.
So it's harder for them to let one go, especially if they only have two, So I was like, the game started about 5 minutes into the game. I told this guy, I was like, this is my last offer, man, $80 for one of your tickets. He's like, fine, here. So I paid for the ticket and then get in the game and watch the game and fucking.
You got to go to one of the most amazing games ever.
I videotaped it on my camera. I just showed it to Danny.
Really?
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
That's cool.
And it was funny because you see in my video all the Green Bay fans cheering.
Yeah.
And then right after that, all the Seahawks fans cheering. And the thing is that it was crazy because there was a lot of Packer fans at that game. A lot. Like there was a quarter of the stadium. No shit was Packer fans. Probably a lot of bandwagon Packer fans.
Well, I mean, that's most Packers fans anyway.
Yeah, but after the game was over, I was like, hey, as we were rolling out of the stadium, I said to these other Seahawks fans, I was like, you know how you should always give someone a high five? They're like, yeah. I was like, watch this. No one's going to give me a high five. So all the Green Bay Packer fans were leaving. I was going to give them a high five. Good game, good game. Nobody high five. Nobody high five.
This massive troll.
They
I
were
love
so
it.
pissed.
I went to a Monday night football game up at Lambeau Field with the Seahawks versus the Packers, and the Packers fans there are really nice. Like, I got a lot of respect for them. I'm surprised that they were so salty about
Dude,
that.
they were so salty.
Well, I think what it is it's the Packers. Like I can understand, like, because most Packers fans I know who are actually legit from Michigan. It's like, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like, no, yeah, they're like legit nice. I mean, I think most people from Wisconsin probably are just generally.
Well,
nice.
ever since that,
But I think most of the bandwagon fans, are people from around other areas that are just happen to be Packers fans.
Right.
Like
they're salty because they're
so
not real
salty.
fans. But at the
Yeah.
same time, the Seattle-Green Bay rivalry, it's a unique rivalry.
Right.
There's always been controversy in
Always.
those
Yeah,
games.
almost
Always.
every
Always.
single game.
And then Hasselbeck throwing that pick six in the playoffs,
Yeah,
And then
we're gonna take the ball and we're gonna score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the onside kick that got fumbled.
Oh yeah, that whole
You know?
entire comeback.
So there's a rivalry between the Packers.
Most
Where there's going to
definitely.
be some saltiness for sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's why it's good that I think they've been scheduling us like to play them every
Oh,
year.
for sure.
since then,
Rodgers
so.
versus Wilson.
I
Yeah.
don't think they have them on the schedule this year.
No, because we've already played them.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It'll
Let me
probably be
see, I
next year
actually have
for
it
sure.
up.
Yeah, I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but I don't recall seeing Green Bay on the schedule. What are you guys looking forward to most about the Seahawks season this year?
Just to see if they can do what they did last year and do better than expectation.
Right. Everybody
You know?
counted them out. They were basically from the start the rebuilding season, and they still made the playoffs.
They weren't even supposed to go 8-8. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
best that most everybody was expecting them to do.
I think I predicted 6-12.
I predicted 10-6.
Yeah, 10-6. That's
That's
what
I think I
that's
said-
what I predicted.
That's what I
Everyone thought
that's
it was
what I
crazy.
meant,
But
10-6.
I think I was 7-9.
7
I
and
think
9.
I think I said 7-9. I was not expecting them to have a winning record at all. But I mean, how crucial was it for them to get Russell Wilson in the offseason for that extension or that new contract? Because do you think that their season would have been as good as it was last year if they didn't have Russell Wilson?
oh no, not at all.
No, there's no doubt about
Russell
it.
Wilson's the difference maker on the team. I mean, yeah, it used to be about the defense, understandably so, but the defense is nowhere near what it used to be. And I
No.
mean, Russell Wilson's carried this team on his back for at least the past 2 years.
Well,
Right.
here's the thing, right? So if you're a team that signs a huge contract to your quarterback, like Green Bay has done, you're going to struggle for a few years after that, because the reason why is those GMs and coaches don't necessarily have the skill that Pete and Schneider do
Right.
of recruiting young talent and being able to coach
Yeah.
them to do what they want them to do. So that combined with Wilson's contract, I think you're going to be able to get away with a big contract a little bit more
Yeah.
because of that. Whereas other teams just sign a big contract, hope all the players do the work themselves, and end up sucking for 5 years.
Well, if we take a step back and look at Tom Brady just signed a really, really cheap 2-year extension.
It's
Do
the
you
same
guys
thing.
do you guys look at it as Tom Brady's more of the team player or Russell Wilson's worth that much more?
I think what it is I think Tom Brady's at that point in his life where he realized, like, I think he feels, extremely
Obligated.
lucky to
Yeah.
be playing football
Most
at the
definitely.
age he is.
Yeah.
So, and he wants to keep playing football.
He wants
and I
to
think
win.
that obviously the front office of New England was like, yeah, they love Tom Brady and want to give him everything in the world, but they're still, a professional sports organization where they can't just be handing out these huge contracts, to
Right.
somebody at his age.
Yeah, that's all it is his
You
age.
know.
They probably feel confident that they could make do with whoever the next quarterback is.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but because they respect him and he has given them everything,
Yeah, he's
You
giving
know,
them pay cuts.
they can give
time
him
and time
that.
again.
They can give him, this contract to keep him on for a couple more years and let him play out, his last remaining years.
Well, they had Garoppolo replace him when he was doing that suspension, and they had a winning record while Garoppolo was under the center. So I'm not saying they don't need Tom Brady, but definitely
It gives them leverage.
It
Oh,
gives
it
them-
obviously
yeah.
gives them the upper hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
I mean,
definitely.
I don't think they would win a super. I don't think they win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady.
I think they could probably that
They can make
defense.
a run.
That defense showed me last year in the Super Bowl against the Rams that it didn't matter who was under the center, in my opinion.
The
And I don't
Rams,
think
the Rams were kind of coming apart though there towards the end of the postseason. Anyway, though,
I could
not
agree.
to mention
They
Tom
were
Gurley
pretty
was
pretty
Todd
riddled
Gurley
with
was-
injuries.
Yeah.
That's
So,
very true.
there's things to say on both sides of that, but I still hold firm that I don't think they win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady.
You don't think so?
No.
No.
I think they could make it to a Super Bowl without him.
Yeah, maybe, but I think that's more so because of the lack of
Not really,
talent
because
really
think
on
about
the AFC.
think about who they'd be playing to get to the Super Bowl. It would either be the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
It would either be Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger,
I don't-
or the Ravens, or
yeah, but neither though. I think besides the Chiefs, there's no other powerhouses in the AFC. Not even the Steelers, because
I mean, the Steelers didn't do too bad last year, right? I mean, they
they
got
weren't horrible.
they
They
weren't
almost made the
horrible.
playoffs.
right. They didn't, but I think you're right when you say really the big powerhouses would be the Chiefs. But I mean, with Mahomes' youth, you can't imagine that he's going to get any worse or put in a
No.
decline.
no.
But I mean, like Cleveland's looking good.
Oh, dude,
See
Cleveland.
now, Cleveland
This is
is
one we can talk about.
Miami's always put up a good fight against the Patriots. Jets now have acquired some free agents.
That's what I wanted to say is the Patriots have made X amount of AFC championships. Is it because the lack of competition in their division?
timing.
Yeah,
You
no,
think
the
so?
AFC East has always
It's
been
so bad.
a joke.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so bad.
But
Like,
it's getting tough.
I think the Jets are going to be a surprise this year.
I think
And they
Sam
got Bell.
Darnold's going to pick it up. a
Yeah,
little
and
bit,
they got Bell in the backfield too.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And their defense has been playing a little
Jets
nasty
beat
lately too.
the Patriots right off the bat last year.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
You know?
Yep.
So and that was like
Hey,
more
didn't
of
the
a-
Patriots start 0-2 last year or 0-3,
it
something
was
like that?
I think it was 0-2.
maybe 1 and 2.
I think it was 1-2.
1-2. Yeah, I don't remember, but it wasn't as good as it usually is to start the season.
And
Well, I mean that's typical Patriots though. I mean,
Right.
unless they go 16-0, the
Yeah.
first half of their season's usually kind of they're a second half team,
Right,
No
for sure.
doubt.
Most definitely. What does Jeff say? This is awesome. Cool. I like it. So we talked about the Browns being competitors now. How are you guys? Where are you guys? Do you think they can win their division? Do you think they can beat the Steelers out in wins?
I'm excited for the Browns because I love a good bottom of the barrel story. Somebody coming, because that was us a time ago.
Mhm.
I think I like Baker Mayfield. I love his attitude. I love his work ethic. I think dude's got a crazy arm. They just got a bunch of crazy talent. I mean, I think it'll be nice. I don't know if I see them. They can potentially win the division this year, but I don't see them going far in the playoffs if they do make it. But I think that give this team maybe a year, this year, kind of meshing together, coming together, seeing how things work, putting all these like great pieces together, and then let the coaches develop them a little bit together. I think next year is when their aspirations should be the highest.
They're definitely going to be a second half team, I think. They're probably not going to pick up steam until after week 6. But the thing I'm excited about the Browns, what I foresee happening with them is giving the division a good run because I just like Mayfield, man. He's a gunslinger that they need.
Yeah.
And he has that gambling mentality where he wants to just let loose, And I think that's going to be contagious amongst the players, and they're going to be the team to watch out for because they'll have nothing to lose.
Well,
They got nothing to
they're a
fucking
bunch
lose.
of young
They
guys.
turned-
I mean, it's
They turned an 0-16 season into a 7-8-1.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Is
And one game was great. I mean, they could have easily won that game. Like,
There-
I mean, that was the turnaround point.
There was multiple games last season where the Browns lost by a score.
Yeah.
So it could have been
Like I said, it literally is the Seahawks from a few years back,
Right.
where we went from being the 7-9 fluke team
Yeah.
that went to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden,
same with the
bam,
Chiefs.
our young guys just started
Last
picking
year.
it up. Yeah, so
They snuck up on anybody. They're not going to be sneaking up on anybody
No.
this year.
No.
But I think the Browns will be the ones to do it now.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be sneaking up on anybody because the hype is like really
Right.
big around them.
The
so.
spotlight is seriously
It is,
really
And
on
they
them.
do have stars now because I mean they
The
got
biggest
Odell,
problem
you know.
with the Browns has always been the front office and the head coaching.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this year, the players are probably. I wouldn't be surprised if the players were just coaching themselves to a certain point.
Well, yeah, because you look at last season when it was the second half of the season when they fired the
their
head coach,
Yeah.
and then
Mayfield just went
what's his,
off and-
I can't remember his
Hugh
name.
Jackson.
Well, they fired Hugh Jackson,
Yeah.
but then they let the
interim
defensive
guy.
coordinator.
Yeah.
And he's a run first guy, and he's like, all right, cool, let's give Nick Chubb the ball. Bam!
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and it worked out great for my fantasy team.
I like it.
Joe remembers.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, so with this new coach, you know, he's just going off. He had a good winning season.
That's what I'm
because
thinking.
it was the
He's
second
just
half of the
nothing
season.
to lose.
They're running high, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a deadly combination when you get great talent coming in from the off season, and then you're off that high from the second half of the season.
Odell, Jarvis Landry, who's they got? Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. They
And
also got Kareem Hunt who can
Hunt,
come back
yeah.
in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be sitting on a suspension for a little bit, but
Yeah.
when he comes back,
I mean,
The Joker's
Watch out.
probably gonna have a good year.
oh yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Well, hopefully he picks it up.
I
I
think
thought
he
he
will.
could have done a little better last year, but I think, you know, him having more time with Baker, you know, in the
Yeah.
off season. And then,
I think less attention's going to be on him because there's so much more talent.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So
And he also got Callaway
Yeah.
too. So
yeah,
That's-
yeah.
It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. The Ravens finished 10-6 last season, and the Steelers finished 9-6-1. Do you see maybe in the AFC wild card one of those three teams making the wild card?
As long as Harbaugh's coaching, they're always a threat to win the division.
yeah, I'm just not
If
sold on the QB yet.
if they can do as good as they did last year with Jackson
Lamar
as their
Jackson,
QB,
yeah.
dude, they're a scary team.
I'm not sold on Lamar Jackson.
Neither am I.
I don't think.
I think he's horrible.
I don't think he has the talent as a.
I don't think he
passer.
has the arm.
Yeah, he
but
doesn't have the talent as a
He's
passer.
very elusive, which is a bonus if he can work on it in this offseason.
Yeah, I mean they were the
So-
number one rushing team.
Anybody know
I
who
mean,
their
that's-
backup is to Lamar Jackson right now?
No, but we can
Probably
find
someone
out.
weird, like
Is it RG3? I don't know.
that'd be great if it was.
Wasn't he playing for
He
them?
was,
I thought he
for a
was.
little
That's-
bit,
I-
but now
yeah.
he's not. I don't think he's with anybody.
I don't know who. To
Maybe
be
he's
honest,
with the.
that's sad. I mean, to me, Baltimore's got a strong defense, great run game. I mean, you can go places with that.
Most
You know,
definitely.
and in that division, that could win you the division.
Yeah.
You know, and it did. You know. So, and I mean that defense is getting back to
It
being
is
where
RG3
old-
still.
Yeah,
It is
see,
RG3. Yeah. So this is what's going to
Point
happen.
me.
Jackson's going to go down with an injury because he's not going to finish the season. He's a running quarterback. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
RG3
Well, I mean,
is going
people
to
were
come
saying
in.
that a lot about Russell Wilson.
RG3 is going to come in and start throwing it downfield. And he's going to.
so?
Yeah.
They're going to be a better
He
team.
could be tougher though than we think. I mean, he was doing that in college, and I don't think he ever got injured in college. So
RG3 is not going to be running out of the pocket. I
No
guarantee
way.
that.
No, not after the
I
injuries
hope
he
RG3
That's
never
what I'm saying.
sees grass again.
What?
I mean, oh, man.
I
Dude,
like
he's
watching
going to
that
as long
team.
as he wins the backup job.
Yeah.
to Jackson.
I'm not saying that because I don't enjoy watching him play. I'm only saying that because I fear for the man's life.
I
I
get
mean,
you. I get
that
you.
guy weighs like 180 pounds
I
soaking
get
wet,
you.
and like,
But what I'm saying is that he's going to watch Jackson get folded in half from running the ball. He's not running the ball. He's going to throw it downfield, and they're going to be a better team. That's
I
my
don't know.
prediction.
I love the addition of Mark Ingram. I think
Yeah.
because I love Mark Ingram. I've always liked him. And then, you know, with Alvin Kamara coming into the Saints, and, you know, kind of like pushed him out of his spot.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, it kind of took the limelight away from Mark Ingram. So I like the fact that he's going to a run first team, and I think he's going to blow it. I think he's going to light it up because they didn't really have an RB1
Yeah.
on the Ravens. Now they do with Mark Ingram. And, you know, Harbaugh's been talking real nice things about him in the offseason now. So
Yeah, and they got
I
a
think-
couple of good running backs.
It was split carries between this guy Gus Edwards and the guy who used to run for the Seahawks,
Yeah, McKissick.
McKissick, yeah.
Right.
They're going to be strong at running
I don't
back.
think McKissick's still on their team.
No, McKissick's
from-
with us right now. It was you're talking about back in the day. That was
No,
just
last year.
McKissick.
He went from Seattle to Baltimore and then started tearing it up. I don't know if it was McKissick or if it was someone else, but I think it was McKissick.
Oh man,
Was it Rawls? It wasn't
No.
Rawls.
no Rawls? No,
Nope. I'm pretty sure it was McKissick.
Was it McKissick?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We did let him go last season.
Yeah,
And-
preseason.
okay. It might have been him. I
We
didn't
were,
think.
we were surprised because we hung on to some white dude instead of him at the end of the preseason last year.
Alex Collins.
That's who it was.
That's
Alex
who it was.
Collins,
Yeah.
the braids.
Yeah.
Mini
Yeah. Alex
martial
That's
arts.
what it
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause I was about to say it wasn't McKissick.
Yeah.
McKissick was with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Alex. Yeah, and that was the thing too, because Alex Collins wasn't really working with us. Like he'd get in, like run for like 1 yard,
I
2
thought
yards.
it was good enough to keep though.
He's a good third down back.
Yeah,
Good third down back.
he was running hard though as
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
first down back over there.
He's killing it.
You
in the
know,
Ravens.
Gus Edwards isn't too bad either, but I don't think
When you're splitting carries like that,
that's when it helps.
Right.
You know, alleviates the pressure and you know they don't get as banged up. But I think they got a potential this year with its strong defense and a strong run game. The addition of Mark Ingram is really going to help them out. So they did lose John Brown. So we'll see.
Where'd he go?
John Brown went to
It was just a walk-in free agency.
John Brown went to Buffalo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he came from Buffalo and went there. I can't remember where John Brown went. But they did lose him, and I think he was I'm pretty sure he was the number one, or at least he was the field stretcher anyway. So any passes
Down the
going,
field,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Was the Rams 13-3 season a fluke?
I don't think it was a fluke, but I also don't think they're going to be very good this year.
Todd Gurley is banged up.
He's no good.
He's not. I don't think he's
We'll
not
see.
going to run how he did last year. That's for sure.
I don't think he'll be running as well as he did last year, but I still think he's going to get the majority of the goal line carries.
Are the Rams still going to be first in the division?
As a Seahawks fan, no. As a football fan, maybe. That depends. I think that all lies in how healthy they can stay. So it depends on Todd Gurley's health. It depends on whether Goff can develop from last year and stay with how well he was throwing last year.
I think
They got a great coach, so
Woods is one of my favorite players at wide receiver for the Rams.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
He's their target guy. Gurley's done. That defense.
Cooper Kupp was amazing too.
Cooper
Till he
Kupp
got
was
hurt,
good until he
yeah.
got hurt. Also the other guy that they got wide receiver.
You're talking about Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh no,
Yeah.
the white one,
Oh,
white guy.
that was Cooper Kupp.
No, they had another wide receiver that was doing good. Shit, I don't remember his name. But then they got Marcus Peters on defense still, and they just picked up. They got Sue now, right?
Yeah, they did.
signed
They
Sue.
did get sued.
They got
so,
Aaron Donald still.
Yeah,
Dude, that defense
I
is
mean,
gonna be good.
it's going to be a tough fight. I think it'll obviously be between the Seahawks and the Rams for the division.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the 49ers
Everyone's
this year,
always
and to watch
talking
out
about
the
the
49ers.
49ers are so garbage.
Everyone always, you know what it is? It's because the 49ers are a premier NFL team. And, it's like the Cowboys. Is when the Cowboys sucked for, 10, 15 years, 20
Well, they
years it
still
was.
suck.
They still hyped them up every year,
Right.
because the 49ers are that team too. Everybody wants the 49ers to be good because they're a legacy team.
Okay.
Like they're an original. So they're going to hype them up. They're going to talk them up. But their quarterback hasn't even played a season, like a full
Well,
season.
not just that, they got broadcasters running the show there as GMs and shit.
Yeah,
so
it's like
I can't wait to see him just struggle all year.
I mean, it's like the Raiders. It's like,
Did you guys watch Hard Knocks at all?
no, I've been hearing
Oof.
about it though.
I've been hearing John Gruden's not getting the respect that he should be getting from these young guys.
It's the Raiders. Like that's
it's a different generation of player.
yeah, but that
John
too.
Gruden is a respectable coach.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are just brushing him off like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
kids who are starting to play for him though, like don't remember him back in his heyday.
well, if you
Well,
think
as a
what
Super Bowl
guys who are
coach and-
24 playing for the Seahawks, what was that, or for the Raiders now, that was 10 years ago maybe. So they're like 14, like in middle school.
yeah, and that's when when he was. When did
It's just a
when did he
different
start
generation of
when did he
player,
start broadcasting?
honestly, because he demands respect. He runs the show. And if you don't like it, you can go. And he's
Yeah.
one of the few coaches left that still do that.
Right.
I mean, he
Because-
got that whole system
Yeah.
last year.
But you
and I
saw what
loved it.
happened. What was that with Miami? The same thing. I don't know if maybe it's the films, maybe it's the cameras. That's why most teams don't want to do the hard knocks thing.
Yeah.
Because the coaches say that for a reason, because when the cameras get on there, then all the
Changes
players
the
want
dynamic.
they want to show up,
Right.
and so then it kind of it takes away from the actual game.
Mhm.
And then like with that Miami coach, he's like he tried to be the Mr. Hard Ass, and then they're like, yeah, no, we ain't having it.
Right.
So it could be that playing a factor too. And then you
Arizona's
bring
gonna
in
be
pretty
shit.
boy Antonio Brown, and so
I don't think Antonio Brown's going to bolster Derek Carr's numbers too much.
ineptitude to throw
I
the
think,
ball. Yeah,
I think the difference is Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, whatever issues they may or may not have had, they've got the on-field chemistry, and Derek Carr and Antonio Brown will not.
I just
right
feel
off
bad
the
for
bat.
Antonio Brown because I feel like the top two quarterbacks that lay out their wide receivers the most to get hit dangerously because they're throwing the ball high and out
In the middle of the
inaccurate
field, too.
in the middle of the field. The top two quarterbacks I've seen that do that are
Derek Carr.
Roethlisberger and Carr.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Antonio Brown, he could get crackle-acked just like he did in Pittsburgh.
Well, the one thing, so I think what it has to do is like inaccuracy because
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger's losses, he hasn't been
Yeah.
as accurate.
He'll throw up
since
a
he
Hail
went-
Mary
so
for
he'll
no
just
reason.
throw it up. He can
Yeah.
throw it, he can still sling it, but he's
Yeah.
not as accurate
and
anymore.
he'll get hit while
And the
he's
same
throwing.
thing with Carr's not that accurate.
Yeah.
He can sling it,
Yeah.
but he's not that accurate.
And he gets hit a lot. But so here's the thing, right? I've been having a foot problem lately. Like it hurts.
Frostbite.
No, but when I read about Antonio Brown's frostbite in his foot, I thought to myself, well, at least I don't have frostbite in my foot.
No, but did you hear? It's because he went into the cryogenic, like the cryothermic
Yeah,
or whatever,
without the
without
proper.
the proper, like, okay, so who was the doctor that's like monitoring this guy before he
Yeah.
goes into it? It says, oh yeah, and like
Oh, you don't need those.
you don't need
protection
those.
sleeves.
That specifically says you need these to
Yeah.
prevent frostbite. Like
Yeah.
why?
You
Like
can't undo frostbite
I want to know what he was going in there for to begin with.
to heal his foot, probably to
So-
I guess it'd be
speed
some
up the
kind of
recovery
turf toe or
time.
something.
Yeah, but if you're going in there for that, you don't want to wear, the.
It wasn't even in
blows
this
my
country,
mind.
man. It's probably not even legal to do in the US.
I feel so bad for John Gruden, man. I just feel so bad for him because he couldn't even answer the question about it. Like, I don't know what to fucking say.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say? What do you say? Like, oh yeah, the guy's an idiot and went into a chamber without the proper. Yep, this is what I do. I coach idiots
You
for a
know,
living.
Jason Pierre-Paul blew his hand off, and fucking
Yeah.
Antonio Brown got frostbite.
Yeah,
Oh, when
At
I
least
first,
it's not
when I first
insider
read
trading,
that, when I
right?
first read that, I was like, "What the fuck was he hiking the
Damn.
Himalayas?"
You
Yeah, no
went
shit,
there.
right? Yeah, it's not insider trading.
or how
I'm
about
hearing
Malik McDowell?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh man,
Did you see he got sued by them to get all that signing bonus
Yeah,
back?
damn straight.
Yeah.
Like, well, first you
What is he gonna-
injure
where is he
yourself
gonna
on an
get that money?
ATV, before you even start to play a game.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Before you even go to practice, before you even go to training camp, you injure yourself doing that shit. And then he gets drunk and attacks a police officer in a convenience store. Come on.
Ridiculous. Speaking of Seattle mishaps, Ed Dixon today was announced that he went under a procedure for his knee, and he'll be out 4 to 5 weeks. How are you guys feeling about the tight end position with Ed Dixon out? That we got Nick Vannett and
Well, I mean, we got Will Dissly.
Will Dissly.
He's coming
So
back from his
is
injury,
he,
and
is
it shouldn't
he
be too
cleared
bad.
to go?
Yeah, he should.
Okay.
I think he's been doing individual drills. I think he's been practicing. I think he's actually been practicing.
Okay.
But then you got the guy that we just got from New England that's been lighting it up
Right.
in training
I
camp.
forgot about that guy too.
Yeah, they said that guy's like a natural. Like, I mean,
I think Dissly would be great as long as he can stay healthy.
Disley's
I
great
can't
for
wait to
blocking
see him.
and
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
that hidden gem, the big old guy that can catch the ball and,
And
take
Ed
it up.
Dixon will just be like last year, just a goal line guy that they just rely on for short yardage. you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Ed Dixon's nice and all, but I mean, I don't think he was a big producer.
Do we
in the
need
offense
this
anyway.
many guys in the tight end position?
I don't think so.
It'll
No.
be fun to see them compete, though.
It would be, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't see us needing Ed Dixon. Yeah, he's a veteran and he
Yeah.
does bring that aspect of it to it because most of our tight ends are young now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I could see Vannett getting let go before Dixon, though.
I could too.
yeah,
Yeah.
He just
I mean, he has
too wishy-washy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, after last season when he needed to step up, his numbers were not
Mhm.
as they should be.
He's a great blocker, though.
You know who I'm excited about is Metcalf.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
excited.
talk about DK
Yeah.
Metcalf.
I'm
man.
so excited. I'm so glad they drafted him.
Everything I'm
Yes.
here. When I saw that they traded up and DK was still on the board, I wrote a whole bunch of people. I was like, they're taking DK. Like it's
Yeah.
100. They're taking it.
Each time there was a team that needed a wide receiver and they weren't picking him, I was like,
I was
yes.
like, what?
yes,
He's going to
yes.
fall back to us. He's going to fall back to
Yes.
us. And he did.
I'm really excited about it. I listen to 710 all the time in the morning, and all they do is talk about how amazing this guy is doing. His route running isn't as good as it should be, but like he's
When
a
you're
rookie.
that big, when you're
Right.
that big, does your route running really have to be that on
No,
point?
you really need to be able to
Yeah.
just Calvin Johnson it.
You just
get
have
out
to
there and
win.
catch
You
the
just
ball.
have to win the one-on-one battles,
Right.
or the two-on-one.
He doesn't have
like,
the frame to be
you
a
just have
good
to get
route
that
runner.
separation when the ball gets there,
Yeah.
and
He's more
and
of a
make the
go up
catch.
and get it.
Yeah.
You know, Baldwin was a great route runner.
He's going to take Jimmy Graham's place in the end zone, and he's
He'll
going to be
probably
the go-to
do better.
guy.
He'll
Yeah.
probably
Should do better.
You know what I could see happening is Metcalf getting a lot of attention, most of the double teams, especially in a short yardage goal line shit. But I think it might open up Tyler Lockett to have a better year than Metcalf.
Exactly, because
And
they'll be doing
Tyler
two-on-one.
Lockett's slotted to be the number one receiver.
Yeah, but I think that Metcalf is going to come out and start catching some TD passes.
Like in the red zone.
Well,
Yeah.
they'll be 2-on-1 on him in there. So I mean,
And
hopefully
Lockett-
he'll win the battles.
Lockett doesn't get the respect from most defenses that he should.
So you think he'll be left wide open and his numbers will bolster because of it?
I think that there'll just be too much to cover. Yeah, I think it'll be too much to cover, and Lockett will be the one.
I think the big thing that we need to point out is the fact that they're talking up about utilizing the running backs a lot more in the passing game this season.
They
Yeah.
need to.
And because they never did that with Chris Carson.
Yeah.
Like they would throw to him, but he was really effective in catching the ball. I think he had like an 80% catch rate. When they actually would throw it to him, but they didn't really utilize that, and that's why all these other teams, they're really their offenses are clicking because they have those options where they can dump the ball off to the running back
Right.
and throw it, and they have plays designed.
Oh,
for
they're
that.
definitely.
So
gonna be
the fact that they're
passing.
talking about doing that a lot more this year, and between
Yeah.
Chris Carson and Penny, I mean, our offense, we have the potential to be one of the top scoring offenses this year. I mean,
That's
it's
another.
reversing.
That's another
polarity
thing.
now.
Is what I'm hearing is where on all of the last seasons that the Seahawks have been good, the defense is always what's being talked about.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden the offense is what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Is the defensive line what the issue is? You guys think mostly?
Huge issue.
Yeah, because we have good corners, we have good linebackers.
I mean, I think our DBs we need to pay attention a little bit to that as well. I mean, I think the only strong part of our defense right now is our linebackers. We have probably one of the top linebacker cores in the NFL.
But we need pass rushers.
We
to make
need
that
pass rushers.
secondary
AJ
good.
Coyer's hurt.
He's hurt.
Yep.
Somebody else is hurt.
Ziggy Ansah is
He's-
cleared to play now.
Yeah, but he's always a risk factor because
injury,
he's
yes.
potentially
Yep.
a risk. And we did just lose somebody else.
They signed Al Woods.
Jerron Reed.
For suspension.
Yeah, suspended.
Jaron Reed. Yeah.
Jaron Reed is suspended. So like he was like I think the second highest pass rusher we had last year. So we're dropping
it's
flies.
It's tough to have a good defense
Between-
and offense at the same time.
Between Frank Clark and Jaron Reed, those two guys' sack numbers were higher than the rest of the team.
Yeah,
combined.
exactly. Because Frank Clark had 11.
He had double digit. It
Yeah.
was at least 11.
I think he had 11, and then Jaron Reed.
I think he had 9.
Yeah, so that's 20 sacks between the two of them. And then I think the next guy had maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those two combined had more than the rest of
I
the
really
line.
hope that us getting rid of Frank Clark this offseason doesn't come back to bite us in the ass because
You got basically DK Metcalf for it.
yeah, but I mean, and so that'll be the
It'll be
deciding
interesting
factor
to see,
because if DK Metcalf produces like he should and like everyone's hyping him up to do, and if our defense can still be strong, even though we're not going to have as great a pass rush, but they are talking about rushing the linebackers a lot more this year.
They're
Right.
going to have to.
I mean, so and they're
But
going
does
to run a
that
lot
leave
more
that-
4-3. So
That I'm hearing that they're going to be running a lot of 3 deep this time instead of 2.
yeah.
So they're going to be running 3 deep. Does that make it a little bit harder on the young safeties that we have now that Earl Thomas is gone? No Richard Sherman. The safeties and cornerback position are very young
Well,
and they
we
got
still
blasted last year.
we still have what's
Griffin?
what's his face at the safety the veteran
McDougal?
McDougal. Yeah,
Yeah.
McDougal was great last year. I think he was the more underrated players on our defense last year. He was making plays left and right every game.
I think if our offense can stay on the field longer than they usually do, it'll be good for the defense.
They also drafted Marquise Blair.
We'll
He's
see how he
injured right now,
does.
though. He's
Yeah.
injured right now. He's
And-
out
and
with
I
a
think
hamstring thing.
with the
Ugo
defense,
Amadi is supposed to.
with the
be pretty
defense,
good.
I feel like it's very plug and play friendly, so they can get these young guys to
Yeah.
fill in these positions and still do a decent job. They'll get beat from time to time.
Well, it's going to be more systematic this time around
Yeah.
because before, we just had great talent on defense to where
Yeah.
it was like, okay, cover two,
Right.
you guys got your zones, just
Right.
do your thing. Now it's going to be more systematic. Wagner's going to be running the defense and just, putting guys in their positions and saying, hey, that's your guy. This is your guy. This is, you need to do this and be there. And, with McDougal, the veteran in the backfield, kind of helping those guys out a little bit. Griffin's picking it up. I think he's kind of coming into his own.
If he doesn't have a good season this year, I don't think he's going to be on the Seahawks next year.
Probably not. But Griffin?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll
Shaquille?
be fine. He'll be
I
fine.
think
think so?
Shaquille Griffin. I
Yeah,
think he
he'll
did
be
pretty
fine.
well last year. Actually, I think
He'll be fine.
DVOA. I think they said that he was actually one of the top, one of the higher rated defensive backs last year.
Okay.
So he's actually not
Um,
doing too bad. It's our nickel back that is where we really need
Yeah.
to shine light on,
Yeah.
and that's where hopefully, we did re-sign Deshaun Shed, and Shed did great with us when he was with us, and then he got that big contract went to Detroit, and then flopped. But I think that maybe that's just more of a system issue up there in Detroit with him coming back to us and knowing how we do things.
Yeah.
Maybe it might help us out there, but. Ugo Amadi is supposed to be stepping up and doing pretty well. So
Yeah. Here's two things I see from the Seahawks this year. Don't be surprised if you see, like you were saying, more passes to the running backs,
Mhm.
but very eerily similar to the Chiefs last year. A lot of
Up-tempo.
a lot of dump off, short passes, screen plays,
set up the long
tricky
pass.
plays,
Yeah.
and then turn them into play fakes and shit like that. I think you're going to see that from Seattle a lot more this year. And also, I think the X factor that's going to separate Seattle from the rest of the teams in the division is our fucking special teams and our punter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah, dude.
our punter.
Dixon is big-ass. I've never been.
Shit. That guy,
I
you
love
never
John
been so
Ryan.
excited to watch somebody get up and punt the ball.
I know.
It's like, yes, we're punting.
I-
Should we be excited about this? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we'd be excited about it.
I love John Ryan, but this Dixon guy
He's-
just.
Oh man, what a great
Listen,
pick,
it
man!
was so
What a great!
great.
Like everybody was like, they went up and drafted this guy. Like,
Dude.
yep,
He's
we got
the
him.
X factor, man. He's going to be the difference maker in a lot of
The-
these division rivalry games.
Yeah, field position is going to be crucial.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
and that makes a huge difference.
So if the offense can stay on the field longer, the special teams can do their job. The defense is going to get a lot of help from that. And it might be just enough to make a fucking solid run and win the division. I wouldn't be surprised, man.
I think Russell Wilson gets MVP this year.
I don't know about
No.
that.
But I
But
think he does.
At
I
the
think he's gonna carry this team again. Okay, and he's gonna go off even more this year. I mean, he's thrown the most
it's
touchdowns.
possible.
Like,
It's possible.
I mean,
I'm torn in this conversation.
man,
It's still just way too
he
early.
demands respect, and he's gonna get it. That guy only gets better every single year. He has never gotten worse. He
But
has
it's-
not gotten worse. He's only gotten better every single
but
year.
all that has to happen is Brady to finish better at the end of the year.
That's where I'm torn at because every single time where he's having an MVP season, one or two other players are having
Just light up.
that
Yeah.
just that much better.
They
Like,
won their NFC championship or AFC championship game.
Yeah.
If Mahomes underproduces, if Brady doesn't
Can't
do
do
Brady
Brady,
like things,
yeah.
and then if Drew Brees doesn't have a good season,
Which I
and
think
that's just
they
a good
might
season.
have.
If he has a good season, I think they're going to give him the MVP.
Yeah.
You guys don't think it's back to back for Mahomes at all?
No.
If he puts up another 50 touchdowns, yeah.
I mean, I just don't think that he's
I think he's going to hit a sophomore slump. Really,
I think so, too.
I think he'll hit a
think
so,
sophomore
too.
slump. I think he'll cap around mid 30s,
You think so?
high 30s.
Well, I mean, he's going to be throwing a lot more since they don't have.
Let's just say
Kareem
I don't
Hunt.
think he's gonna be doing a lot more. I don't think he'll be better than last year.
They're
at
iffy.
all.
They're iffy on their running backs,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he'll be
Well-
throwing it a lot more.
Other than Tyreek
He's got
Hill,
more picks, that's for sure.
I think he'll have more picks
for sure.
Yeah.
He had less than 10 last year, right?
Yeah. It wasn't bad. He had a few at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know.
If
I
you
don't know if
include
he
the
had less or
playoffs-
more than Russell.
Probably more. I think.
I
how
thought he
many-
had like 11.
How many Russell
Was it
had?
11?
Russell only had 9.
Yeah, he had less than 10 for sure.
Yeah, Russ had 32 touchdowns and 9 or 32 or 35 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
He threw 13 interceptions and 50
13.
touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
50 touchdowns. I mean,
That's crazy. But yeah, he's not going to have that. He's probably going to have.
Drew Brees still had more yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Drew Brees always gets the yards,
Yeah,
but he
he
doesn't.
No, he didn't, because he snapped his record for having more than 5,000 yards in a season every single consecutive year.
Yeah, consecutive years
Yeah.
with 5,000 yards.
Yeah.
or
Was it
more.
5,000 or 4,000?
It might be 4,000, but if it's 4,000 or 5,000, he didn't make it
Yeah.
last year. So I'm pretty sure Pat Mahomes got him in the
I
yards
think this
too.
is. I think this is the like Drew Brees is kind of like.
Well, Drew Brees, last year their system was run the ball like crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, they're going to compete again.
But I think they want Drew Brees to get the MVP. You know,
Oh, for
like
sure.
yeah. I mean, he's
for sure.
because he hasn't gotten it. You
He'd be
know,
more likely. He'd be if him and Wilson are close in numbers.
they'll give it to Drew
Drew
Brees.
Brees.
Exactly.
That's why I
Exactly.
said that's why I
Exactly.
prefaced. I said
Yeah.
I think Russell Wilson can put up the numbers to get it, but if Drew Brees has a good year or
Yeah.
if Tom Brady has a good year,
The only way
then
Wilson wins
he's
it.
not going to get it because they're going to give it to those guys.
The only
Or
way-
if Aaron Rodgers, the greatest
No, he
quarterback
ain't doing
ever,
shit. Rodgers ain't doing
does
shit.
better than he has done the past 5-6 years.
That team is
He
horrible.
had a terrible season.
I mean,
last year.
he hasn't
Terrible.
done good at all.
He's
Like he's the
horrible.
most overrated. I think he is the most overrated player in NFL. Everyone talks about how he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he has one Super Bowl, and he hasn't been back since
Well,
Since I was in
2011.
high school.
Not just that, but he's a fucking crybaby, man.
Yeah,
He's worse than LeBron.
every time he goes up to the ref, he goes up to the ref on after every
Yeah.
play. He looks at the
Yeah.
ref after every play. Where's the flag? Where's the flag? Oh, we got a flag. We got. Hey, I got touched. Is there a
Yeah.
flag?
Yeah.
You got that
Exactly.
flag? Hey, you know, and it's only in those games. It's only in those games where you don't see a flag for like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
You know, and then all of a sudden, after he talks to a ref, like, oh yeah, okay, here's the flag.
Mhm.
I was trying to find quarterback rankings going into the season. Russell Wilson dropped down to like 15 in the top 100, and everybody's ranking Andrew Luck above him, Phillip Rivers,
Second most overrated player in the NFL.
Andrew Luck.
Luck. Like the
Yeah.
guy can't even stay healthy and
He has
and
one of
play
the
a whole
best
year.
offensive lines
Like-
in the league. I don't understand how he gets hurt all the time.
Because he runs.
You know, isn't it amazing? Like you remember, you go back to the draft when it was the big storylines
Oh, yeah.
between Andrew Luck and RG3. Who's going to go first? Who's going to go first? And then that guy that came in the third round, Russell Wilson,
Yep.
has put up way better numbers
Oh, yeah.
Consistency.
and consistently played. Has not missed one game.
Yeah.
And yet they're still talking about how Andrew Luck is
Nah,
way better. Like,
Wilson won that 2 years ago.
Come
He won
on.
that title between those three.
but they're
years ago.
they still consider Andrew Luck like they're still picking
Oh,
Andrew
for
Luck
sure.
to be.
I think
like,
he won that debate when he won the Super Bowl and then went back the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I love how like during that draft season, I listened to a lot of Colin Cowherd that year.
I can't
And
stand that guy.
oh, I couldn't stand him either because he would always like, this Russell Wilson, you know, like why are they even talking about this Russell Wilson? Like it's RG3 and Andrew Luck, like and nobody else, like you know. And so when they talk about Russell Wilson, like oh no, this guy plays for the Seahawks, yeah, no, not Russell Wilson. Well, now Colin Cowherd's all over
his
Russell
nuts.
Wilson's
all
nuts.
over his balls.
All over, like talks about how he's the most underrated. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah. But back then, he was talking all kinds of shit about him.
Right.
So it's like, get out of here, Colin. Like, dude,
He was the one that stirred up that whole he might be going to
The
New York.
Giants.
thing.
yeah, that's what he does. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because
Once he
everybody.
put that out, I was like, dude, this guy is
Because
so-
everybody found out he's a joke. All
Yeah.
he is a joke. He's got a radio voice, a voice and face for radio, and
Right.
that's it. Like that, you know. So he doesn't know shit about what he talks about. So now he just wants to jump on the bandwagon and like, oh, I'm going to stand out if I hype up Russell Wilson because nobody else does.
right.
What's your record prediction?
For
Seahawks.
All right,
Seahawks?
let's look at their schedule.
let's
real
go.
quick
Want to go
before
game
we-
by game?
Yeah, let's do that. So, we got the schedule. right here. We're not going to look at preseason, obviously.
Oh man.
Obviously, I wish
They
go
will
down.
be
They just
playing Cincinnati in Cincinnati,
win.
their first game.
Win.
I think that's an easy win. for
Win.
them.
Not,
Easy.
Not easy win, but win.
I think it's an easy one. Andy Dalton is not as good as everybody hypes up.
AJ Green's
AJ
hurt.
Green's out.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think that's an easy win for them. At Pittsburgh. Actually, the Bengals are in Seattle. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
it's a
Easy
home
win.
game.
Easy
It's our
win.
first. It's our first season opening home
Yep.
game since we played the Packers after the Super Bowl.
Nice.
And then it's at Pittsburgh. I could see the Seahawks losing that one.
That could be
Nope.
a trap game.
Nope. They're gonna win that game. They're gonna win that game.
I think it depends.
It'll be like 6-9.
It depends because here's the thing, right? So that'll be their second game after, because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers lose their first game. I think they lose their first game. So in that second game, they're going to be at home against the Seahawks, a good team. But then they'll be pissed off because there was their first game without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and there'll be all those questions. That first game will get to them. But the second game
As long
at
as-
home, I
As
think
long as our linebackers are healthy for that game, they're gonna stop.
I
think so?
I think it's a 50-50 game, but I'm probably leaning more towards Pittsburgh. in
They're
that
gonna
game.
stop Connor, and they're gonna force him to pass. They're gonna get 2 picks. They're gonna win that game.
I hear they're bringing back the rest from Super Bowl
Nope.
4.
Next is versus the Saints. That's a loss.
That's a home game.
It's
It is a home game.
And we did beat the Saints at home last year.
I know, but the Saints are gonna be better this year than they were last
I
year.
think the Seahawks, that one, the
It's
Seahawks will be that they will lose to.
They'll lose by 1 point,
They'll lose by a score.
21-23 or something.
They'll
like
lose
that.
by a score.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
okay. So are we saying that? So we're saying a win against the Bengals, and we're saying are we going
Winning
win
against
against?
I'm saying they're gonna lose to the Steelers.
I think they lose to the Steelers.
Okay, I'm saying win.
Okay. The Cardinals, I don't think there's any way in
No-
hell
no way
they'll
we
lose to
lose.
the Cardinals.
And, I mean, I don't care how good Kyler Murray is going to be. I don't think we lose to the Cardinals.
No.
Even though the Cardinals do put up a good fight, it's usually always a tough game, and it's at home for the It's away at Arizona.
We do good there, though.
I'll give them their. I'll give it that, but I think we win.
All right.
It won't be
is
easy,
this Rams
but
game a Thursday night game?
it is a Thursday night. game.
Thursday night game? I think the Rams come up with that one.
Nope. That's in Seattle.
I think we win,
We win that.
They did not beat the Rams at all last
but
year.
it was close, and
It was close each time.
and they're not going to have Todd Gurley at full health. So
I mean, you know
It's
what?
a
The
different
only
game.
thing
It's a
is that
different dynamic.
Aaron Donald is a beast.
Yeah.
I worry about
It's
that.
disgusting.
Our
I think it
offensive
depends
line-
on how healthy
Our
our
offensive line is going to have to step up big time against the Rams.
No doubt.
But
no
I
doubt.
do think that we can beat them that
I
game.
think
You
I
think
think
so,
we'll
too?
we'll be riding high if we coming off the Saints
Off the Cardinals.
So
and,
you-
and then off the Cardinals. I think we beat the Rams in that game.
Okay.
It's a night game too. Night
Yeah.
home game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come, I mean, I
Yeah.
think we win it.
Okay.
We
So
lost
I
by
got
like
them
2 points.
4-1 so far.
Okay, so I have them losing.
You're
to
3-2.
I have them at
3-2.
2-2.
I think they beat the Browns in Cleveland.
I think they do as well.
Yeah, they're going to be a more experienced team, especially
Um,
coaching.
I think just with as much, it's going to be a close game, and with the pressure on the line, Baker Mayfield crumbles and Russell Wilson
Comes
shows
in.
his
Yeah.
veteran
So even if they're
presence.
down by 3 or 4, they
Yeah.
can still
Yeah.
win the game.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a high scoring game.
Nope. It's never high scoring against the Browns. Don't you remember last time they played each other? It was like 3-6.
yeah,
It was all field position.
yeah,
At that game?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last time they played the Browns?
Yes.
No, because I went to the last time they played the Browns when they had Johnny Football.
I'm
was in
pretty sure they
Cleveland,
lost
I
to
think.
Cleveland too.
No. I was at that game. I was like front row. We won that game
No, we
big time.
beat Manziel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was
Yeah.
like we killed them.
I'm talking about the last game in Cleveland.
When was the last time?
6-3.
Was that last year?
I think that was
2
3
years
years
ago?
ago.
3 years ago, probably.
Oh.
And this one's going to be in Cleveland.
Yeah, this
This
one
one's
is
in
in
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
So,
I think they beat the Browns in Cleveland.
yeah, they beat them, but it's
I
going
think
to be
they
low
beat 'em.
It's going to
scoring.
be close.
12-10.
It's gonna
Weird
be close.
score.
Okay, so I
The
got them at
Ravens?
3-2 now.
First time
Ravens.
seeing
We
Earl
beat the
Thomas
Ravens
again.
at home. We beat them at home.
You think so?
No, Ravens win. Ravens are good.
They're going to beat us
I
at
think-
home.
Yeah,
I think the Ravens are going to lose.
I think the Ravens are going to lose.
no, they're going to win.
Okay. All right. So
I have us at
5.
4. I have us at 4-2 right now
Well, let's see. 1, 2,
because I have
3,
us
4,
losing to
5,
the
6,
Steelers and the.
We're at 7 games
Saints.
now.
I
I got
think I'm
him.
4-3.
I got him 5-2.
I'm 4-3.
I got him 5-2.
I think I've been matching up with you.
Yes.
So 4-3. Yeah.
Then the Falcons
At
in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I think it
how
depends
are
on
they
how
gonna
good
be?
Devonta Freeman is.
Yeah,
not gonna be good at
Atlanta
all.
is always that like, hey, we're having a really good stretch, and then they just like don't do good for some reason
Yeah.
whenever randomly.
I think
It's at Atlanta.
Freeman's done.
I don't know, man.
Coleman's a threat.
Coleman's not with them anymore.
Oh, he's not?
No,
Oh,
Tevin
nice.
Coleman went to 49ers.
They still got
that's
Julio.
right.
Yeah.
They got Julio.
They just, I think they're talking about signing him like a huge contract. So, or they did.
The Falcons could be done. Falcons could
I
be shit.
think the Seahawks win in Atlanta. I'm taking that one.
Okay.
I'll say yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 5-2, 5-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
5-3.
So-
I got him 6-2. You got
Last time the Seahawks played the Buccaneers, it was in Tampa,
It was a
and
shootout.
it was
great
was
fucking
kinda-
game.
I think they lost, didn't
They
they?
did lose.
I was kind of upset about it, but I think they're going to redeem themselves in this one.
Oh yeah.
Home game against
The
I mean,
Bucks,
they did.
yeah, they're going to redeem
It's a
them.
home game.
Seahawks will win.
Jameis Winston.
Oh, Seahawks. Oh,
garbage,
yeah.
bro. Winston's garbage.
So,
I don't see them losing to the 49ers.
Yeah, they don't have an established run game. Who knows about who's it? Wait, Peyton Barber / Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. So
At
I have them at
49ers.
7 now.
Okay.
Mhm.
They will be playing the 49ers in San Francisco.
Depends.
That
on
seems like a late game as well. Is that a
Yeah,
Monday night
that's a-
game?
I believe that's a Sunday night.
Sunday
game.
night?
Because Monday night games start at.
5.
That is a Monday night game. Because that's 8 days after the third. Yeah, that's a Monday night game. Because the Monday night game started at 5:15. I think
Mhm.
they only start at 5:30.
Big show. I think with the spotlight on in San Francisco, the Seahawks take it.
Yep.
I like that. The Eagles. This one I'm always.
In
It's-
Philly.
It's in Philly.
We get rest.
I think
We
they're
get
gonna-
rest because that's a Sunday night game, and we'll be coming off the Monday
When's
night
their
game.
bye week? I don't see that here.
Our bye week, I believe, is week 11.
We go. Oh, yep. It skips from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be coming off a bye week
Yep.
playing the Eagles.
I think we.
I think we still lose.
I don't know. I think we get it. It depends because if we have the record that we're talking about, they could potentially have at that time, and they're coming off a bye week and they're riding high.
Yeah.
They'll be rested and they'll be coming back. I think they win.
I got them so far, as ridiculous as this sounds even coming from my mouth. The Seahawks are 8-2 going into that game. Now, if we say that they lost 2 close ones, they could be 6-4 easily.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think that the Eagles are going to be a good team this year. And it's in Philly. I don't think there's any way Seattle wins that game.
I don't think so either.
I got them winning.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. The Vikings will be visiting the Seahawks.
Oh, Monday night game again. I went to that game last year. We destroyed them. I think we beat them easily.
I'm not
again.
sold on the Vikings as everybody else is.
Nope.
Not sold on them.
Not with Sam.
Thielen is always going to be a threat, but
Not against
what
us.
else? What else do they got other than Thielen?
Cook, who's been hurt.
They got Stephon Diggs, and
Diggs
they
is
got
good. Oh, they got the tight
they got
end.
their tight end,
Yeah.
Rudolph,
Rudolph,
Kyle
but he's been
Wishy-washy on
on a
injury.
downward spiral lately.
We
so-
win that game.
I think so too.
Yep.
So I have them at 7, 8, 9, 9.
I got them at 10-3 after that Viking game.
So I have them 9-4.
All right, I got them at 8-5.
All right, so then the Rams at LA,
I think we lose.
we lose
I don't
probably.
think we beat
That
the Rams.
defense is too good to lose in LA.
Right.
And then Panthers,
We beat them.
we always beat them, it seems
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
even though they beat us.
Yeah, I think we beat them.
Playoffs, we beat them. Panthers are no more.
Yep.
Okay.
I think after that loss to the Rams in LA, I think the Seahawks will win out
Yep.
against the Cardinals and against the 49ers.
Yeah.
So that
Panthers, Cardinals, 49ers.
I got them finishing at
9,
10-6.
10. I also have them finishing 10-6.
I'm going to go 12-4.
12-4. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay, so relatively the same type of schedule. Obviously, there's differences in teams being home and teams being away. The Rams will have basically virtually the same schedule facing the same teams. Can the Rams beat those teams more consistently?
I don't know. I think 12-4 might be
A good
It might be.
I think they're coming off of a Super Bowl year, so teams will be more focused on them.
I don't think
Okay.
anybody in the NFC is going to be better than 13-3. So 12-4 might be enough to clinch a seed, but 10-6 is more wild card. What you guys are thinking?
I think I don't know. It depends. It depends on health.
I think they win the
Rams.
I think
Really,
Seattle wins.
I think it depends on health,
depends
and
on-
it depends on if they
It
still
does.
ride
It always
high.
depends on that. But if we're just assuming everybody stays healthy for the most part,
Okay, if they all stay,
Knowing
if
that
they all stay
Gurley's
healthy,
out.
but Gurley's not healthy.
it's not convincing.
I
I think they win the division by a game.
by game.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
think if
I
we
can see
if
that.
we split the series with the Rams, then we have a chance of winning the division.
Yeah. All gotta
If we
do is
lose
win by
both
a game.
games to the Rams, we don't win the division.
I don't think so. We're going to rely on a tiebreaker if
Yep.
we do.
I think we can potentially finish with like the same record,
Yeah.
and then the heads up will.
If the heads up is
Yeah.
1-1, then it goes to something else.
I don't know what happens
think it was
after
the
the
After the
Division
heads up, if
record?
it's tied, then it goes to
Division
division record.
Yeah.
The Rams and the Seahawks probably aren't dropping games to the 49ers
Or
and
the Cardinals. Yeah, but then it goes to conference record.
Mm.
Yeah, but the Rams are more likely to lose to a division rival than the Seahawks because we have Wilson and they have Goff, and they don't have as many weapons on offense anymore that I think they're a good enough threat. The only thing that's going to get the Rams to compete with Seattle
Is the defense.
is the defense for sure.
For sure. 100%
That's the only thing
the
that's going to keep
defense.
them in their games. And I think we have a better balance.
I don't.
Our
I
offense is
think.
better.
I think we need. I don't know. It's a little early to tell, and I think it all depends on how our defense does because
Yeah.
our defense is our weak point.
It is our
at
weak
this-
point, but like I said, I think that
I don't even really think it's the defense as a weak point so much as the defensive line.
Well, it's
yeah.
the defensive line and the defensive
But
backfield.
that's when our defensive backfield has done the best is when we've had a good defensive pass rush. Because if we don't have that pass rush, it puts too much pressure on
Yeah,
those
well,
young
that's
guys.
the big question up in the air. So
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a struggle for the defense.
that's why I think.
But I
it
think
will
the
be too.
offense will bail them out. I think we could score enough points
No,
to
yeah,
bail
we're
them
going to be
out.
scoring lots of points this year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we're going to have one of the top scoring offenses this year.
Yeah, we're going to win games 30-29 probably a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, so
I like it.
should
All
be
right.
fun.
How much time are we at?
57 minutes.
All right, we're going to do one quick question. How many catches and touchdowns do you think DK Metcalf ends the season with?
I'm just going to go with touchdowns, and I'm going to say personally 12.
12?
Yeah.
Okay. I see 6.
Okay.
He's going to be the red zone guy.
I'll say he gets 70 catches and gets 9 touchdowns.
I was thinking more like 30 to 40 catches and 6 touchdowns.
He's going to be utilized like a Mike Williams.
I don't think he's going to get utilized as much as you guys think he's going to. Just on the basis of
Being a
his
rookie.
lack of being a rookie, his lack of route running. You can't just expect him to win.
Russell's been
70
working with
catches
him almost every day.
Honestly,
I hope so.
I think that his biggest problem will be himself.
Right.
And I think that there's a chance that he will try to go too hard and get fucked up.
You figure this way: 16 games, right? 16 games. You put him at.
He's probably not going to play all
You-
16
you-
games.
You don't think so?
No.
All right.
Not as a rookie.
We'll see. Okay, so we'll put him at 12 games. So 12 games at 6 games apiece, or 6 catches apiece.
But that's you. Are you saying that you think he's going to get more catches regularly than Tyler Lockett would be? Because
Well,
Tyler Lockett
so
should be getting 7.
Well, if Tyler Lockett's the
touchdowns.
number one receiver, then he's going to get the double coverage initially.
Right. I think people are going to be paying more attention to him. And now, but I just, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's hard to predict what'll have him being a rookie.
Right.
I'm just assuming because I see us in the red zone a lot. So with us being in the red zone, I see Russell throwing him the ball more
Yeah.
often.
Who's going to
I'm seeing it differently. Go
who
ahead,
in
Bob.
Arizona, who in the 49ers, and who in the Rams is going to be covering Metcalf?
Okay. I get what your guys' points are. I'm saying I think because of how good the offense is going to be this year, that we're not going to be in too many goal line
So
situations.
you can say we're going to spread it out.
I think we're going to spread it out
Probably
and get
run
longer
first.
touchdowns. And
I mean, we're
run the
forgetting
ball
about
a
Jerron
lot.
Brown too. Jerron Brown's
Well,
been lighting it up,
yeah.
and I mean
We'll see.
he's got wheels.
But there
so.
is a good chance it'll be the number 3 DB that covers Metcalf.
Absolutely.
That's
what
I think, too.
totally agree with that.
I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah.
So I just think Russell's going to target him a lot.
For sure, because he can throw it up there high.
Yeah.
And he'll come down with it.
I'm excited for the season, boys.
I know.
Fuck yeah.
I know.
Fuck yeah.
We should do this again sometime during the season.
Yeah.
Maybe even sooner than that. Maybe during the preseason.
I'm.
My buddy Eric, who does the show with me, is out of town and doing a whole bunch of like tuna fishing and stuff.
Where do you usually watch the games?
Usually at my house. So, but we can talk about all that after the show. Seriously, I had a lot of fun. Thanks for being
absolutely.
on.
Thanks for having
and
us.
anybody who is not following Talking Interference Sports, go check it out. Anybody who's not following Comedy and Kitsap, go check it out. Kitsap Connection and Game Changer Sports Network. All right. Thanks so
Peace.
much, guys.
Hey.